Hey YouTube, Scott Off-Road, how you doing today? Well, after almost 15 years, I broke down and bought a new Jeep, and it was not a fun process. Let me give you some ideas of the stuff I went through. Hopefully it'll help you buy your next vehicle. Started out looking for the Jeep that I wanted online through the used car websites. And it started out simple. Oh yeah, thousands available. And by the time I had it narrowed down to what I wanted, there was one or two in the United States. Yeah, you heard me. The United States. Only one or two. Find one, call the dealer, say, hey, I'm out of state. Can you send me pictures of the undercarriage? Because I'm worried about rust. Nope. Hey, I like your Jeep. I want to buy it. Can I give you a deposit and hold it for a week so I can book my flight and get my time off from work? Nope. Hey, like the Jeep, like to buy it, I'm out of state, now we're not interested, come look at it. All right, fine. So dealing with this for 2 months, found a Jeep, decided, you know what, it's not the color I wanted, but it had everything I wanted in it, and one big bonus, and that was a Ursa Minor roof. For those of you who don't know what an Ursa Minor is, it's a rooftop tent, but it's an entire new roof, and your roof actually pops up, and much like a V, and then this part up here is the tent, and you sleep in there and you get into it and out of it from inside the Jeep. Huge option. Talked to the guy. Yeah. Things were working out. There's a few things I was going to have to sacrifice on what I wanted. But as it got closer and closer to the purchase, he started getting flakier and flakier. And it finally got to the point where I was ready to buy the plane tickets. All the details were worked out. He was just going to have to pick me up at the airport, take a couple hours off from his job to do the paperwork. And that was it. It was done. And that's when he ghosted me. He didn't contact me anymore, and it was to the point, honestly, at that particular point, I was done. I had to sacrifice so much for what I was getting. It really wasn't what I wanted, so I walked away from the deal. But that's a good thing, because then I found this. My 2017 JKU Hard Rock Edition Rubicon Recon. That's a mouthful. So this is where the problems began. I called the salesman and he was on board. He crawled underneath the Jeep, sent me tons of pictures, everything looked good. Totally happy with it. Asked him if I could send him a deposit and hold it, explained to him it's the end of the month, I need to get somebody to cover my shift at the fire department and book my flights. And I'd be out there within a week. We don't take deposits. We have to have you fill out a credit application. So they wanted me to do the finance paperwork so that they knew I could be financed. I can live with that. That's reasonable. Did that. Then the finance people called. Well, we can beat your interest rate. I am financed, pre-approved, you're getting checks. Well, we can beat their rates. And it went back and forth for almost an hour on the phone, back and forth. And finally he was pretty upset, going, so you had no intention of financing this vehicle with us? No, not really. No problem. Get that dealt with. Well, then the manager calls. And when the manager calls, he's not happy. And he's like, well, you need to sign this contract for a loan to guarantee you're going to buy it. I'm not signing a contract for a loan. I refuse to do that. I will sign a purchase agreement, but I will not sign loan paperwork, because once you sign that loan paperwork, you are wrapped into a loan. And then here comes the lie. But we will rip it up when you get here. Yeah, no, not happening. I've known people that's happened to. Once you sign that paperwork and agree to that loan, that is your loan and you are responsible for that loan. And I was not going to sign a loan for a vehicle that I had not physically seen or driven in. And so we went back and forth, and by this time I already had plane tickets bought, I had everything taken care of on my end, and it was quite frustrating. Finally, he agreed to me paying a deposit and then signing a contract, a purchase agreement, as long as it was in good shape and there was nothing wrong with it, that I would buy it. And I was okay with that. Low mileage, the price was about where I wanted it. I was pretty pumped about it. The wife was on board with it. And I called some family friends and was talking to them, and they offered to buy my old Jeep. And so there's my old Jeep. Driving off for the last time. So they bought my Jeep, and the plan was I was going to fly from Nebraska to Maryland to buy this Jeep. And then on the way home from Maryland, I was going to meet the family that was buying my Jeep, give them a ride back to Nebraska, then they were going to drive my Jeep home. All's good. This is going to work great. This is when the problem started. Well, we are at the airport. My flight's supposed to board shortly, but it's undiverted. It's been diverted. They don't know when it's going to get here or what they're going to do. And I'm supposed to be in Maryland tonight so I can pick up something pretty important tomorrow. This is getting to be interesting. We'll talk more about it once all this gets straightened out, but this is going to be an adventure. Now, you can't make this up. And this is actually pretty sad. And I'll put this, actually cut it right here and put it in. Some guy decided to walk through airport security, and this is a small airport, so he didn't walk in the terminal, but walk through security with a bag and a rifle and climbed inside a private airplane. So when I got there, SWAT was already there, the fire department was there, the ambulances were there. All air traffic had been diverted because they were dealing with a SWAT and unsafe situation. Well, we made it to Maryland, or Reagan International Airport, wherever that's at. Now to get out of this place. Well, if you ever wondered how your life's going to come to an end, how you're going to get kidnapped and abducted, well, let me show you how it's going to happen to me. Do you see it yet? Let me guess. Jeep parts. How we doing? Yep. And before I even got off the property, this happened. Yeah, apparently my phone's directions put me in a restricted area. Fortunately, the officer was very courteous and compassionate and understanding and just gave me a warning. Drove back to the dealer, went through all the paperwork, all's good. Jumped in the Jeep, drove off. In Maryland, apparently you get a 2-month in transit, and when you buy a vehicle, they pay your taxes and get your license plates. And I had told them numerous times, I don't want them paying my taxes. I live in Nebraska. I have to get my own plates, and I have personalized plates. Talked to DMV here in Nebraska, and they said, oh yeah, by the way, we don't honor a 60-day in transit. We only do 30. So after 30 days, you're going to start getting fined. But I guess to recap, when you're buying a vehicle online, find out from your local DMV what your taxes are, so that you make sure you're paying the proper taxes if you have to pay them there. Chances are, if you talk to the right person when you're buying it, you may not have to pay the taxes there. You can pay them when you get back. Now, if you're having them wrapped into the financing and you're financing through them, then obviously yes. Find out, because in the state of Nebraska, if you buy a vehicle out of state, you have to have the sheriff's department verify with a certified copy of the VIN and the vehicle that it's not stolen. And you can't do that if they're registering it and licensing it out of state. So go to DMV, call them, ask them what is required for buying a vehicle out of state. When you find that vehicle you want out of state, make sure you're talking to a good salesman. Make sure you talk to the manager and explain to him, hey, I'm out of state. Either I need to finance it with you guys, or no, I'm bringing my own financing. I need a deposit. I need to put a deposit on her. How can we have you hold that till I get out there? You need to make sure that you are able to have the vehicle held. Make sure that when you get there, you have a plan, so when you get there and go, oh, this isn't what it was supposed to be, or ooh, this is a lemon, you have a plan to get back. And for me, that was just taking extra time off, and if it was a worst case scenario, I'd just grab a flight home. Make sure you go there if you're pre-financed with certified checks, and make sure you get everything in writing. And if they give you thumb drives, verify the information on the thumb drive. Don't get in a rush. Take your time. You're buying a vehicle. This is supposed to be a fun and exciting thing. But that was my experience. Like I said, it's starting to get better now. It was kind of interesting there for a bit. But thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing. That's the biggest thing you can do to help this channel right now. Come along for the adventure. Have yourself a blessed day. Remember, you fix the Jeep fixes you.